Hey everyone, I was rooting through the 5 buckets of shells that I have yesterday, and I came across this beautiful little black shell, and I thought to myself, I haven't cut a shell for a long time, so let's cut this thing, okay? I find a stone and take it home and polish it and hope it shines, and also there's a chicken. Hey everyone, this is Clayton. And as I said, I was rooting through my multiple buckets of shells and I came across this. And this is a shell from the Outer Banks. It's one of the gray-black shells. I'll get a zoom in there. I really, really love these type of shells. Because even though they're black, they're not decomposing like a lot of the other shells from different beaches are. Outer Banks has probably the best shells I've ever cut. Okay, so we are going to take and cut this because I've not cut a shell. I don't know how long it's been since I cut a shell on here. So let's take a look at this. As you can see, I'm going to have to zoom in again. Well, why did I even bother zooming out? I don't know. Here's the pointy stick of the dental pick of destiny there. So we've got a pretty big nick here in this white spot. And we also have a gnarly on the backside. And usually I like to leave as much of the original shape of the shell that I can when I cut these. But this one, I'm going to have to take this off. This gnarly here. I mean, I could actually use that as put the bail through there, but it is a little bit thin, and then I would maybe round this off, but I think I'd rather have it this way this time. So I think the game plan is we're going to take this over, and if we take it off like here, we'll also be able to get rid of this gnarly goo here, because that will sort of take it like that. And that'll give it a nice drop pendant shape. And see all these little pits and stuff, that will come out. And if you haven't seen me cutting one of these shells before, well, now's the time to watch. So I guess without further ado, take this over onto the wheel. Okay, let's get some water going here. And the wheel going. Yep, got plenty of water, plenty of wheel. Of course we got plenty of wheel. Oy. Okay, let me soak this thing a little bit. Okay, normally I wouldn't be using this super aggressive wheel, because these shells aren't that hard. So I'm going to start by just shaping this, taking this out, and shaping this side down. As you can see, that wheel eats through that pretty fast. And actually tears the back side of it up. You can see there, it's tearing it up pretty good. Now I'm going to do a minimal amount of work on this wheel just to get that main part of that gnarly out of there. Because these shells are hard, but they're not super hard. And I need to round this off, but I think I'm going to do that on the other wheel once I get this down to the shape that I want. So let's take a look here. I'm still going to go more with an organic shape. Going to be shaped, but it's not going to be too drastically out of natural, because I like to keep the shells somewhat natural. If I cut them perfect like a gem, they just seem to lose something. So I'm sure wondering if I should bring this over a little more or just try to roll that top. I think I'm going to have to bring that over a little bit. I decided. Okay, I think I can deal with that little bit of the gnarly-gook on there because, you know, we're pretty thick here. Well, that was pretty fast on that wheel. This might be a pretty fast one altogether. Okay, so let's get some water going here. Can we see that okay? Yes, I believe we can. Oh, don't you love the sound of that? Like usually, when I do these by hand, I'd have them on sticks. I'd put them on a dop stick right away. I would just glue the dop stick right to the back and then have that on a stick to do all the work to it. Okay, so I'm gonna actually take and smooth off that backside first, and I'm not gonna touch these edges. Not with this harder wheel. I'm going to try to return those edges that I cut back to a nice rounded shape. See how that is? It's naturally rounded by the ocean. I'm going to try to do the same to this one. And that will take out some more of that gnarly white thing there. Still think shells might be one of my favoriteest things to cut. Okay, this isn't going to take too long. Okay, got some. Now I use my fingers to feel what we got going on, and I'm hoping not to have to dop this to finish it. If I do, well, then we will. But there we go. There we go. We're pretty much ready for that. Now all I got to do is just take out all the gnarly pits that's on the face. Okay, and as you can see, the color is changing a little bit already. See, this is why I do like to put them on a stick. It's kind of hard to get in there and do it precisely the way I want to, especially if it was a smaller shell. I've done smaller shells than this. But with all these shells, you have to be careful. You can see when I'm coming down, getting down there. Focus. Getting down through there, there's more of this white coming out. Now if I take my finger across there, there's a high spot here, a high spot here, a low spot here. So I'm going to have to work that low spot. I'm going to have to get to the low spot by taking off the high spots. And try not to get so far that you get rid of the color. You see it starting to whiten up a little bit down here, which I'd rather keep it as dark as I can get it. I'm going to work that edge a little bit, smooth it up. See on the back, we've still got a little bit of gnarly gook going on there. You know, I could tumble these. I could like shape them and then tumble them. And I actually thought about it, but if I tumble them, you know, they'll get nice and smooth and polished, but in losing something there, I'm losing I'm actually losing the effect of touching each shell and making each shell an individual piece instead of a conglomeration of tumbled stones. shell, not a stone. So each piece is not really, I mean, each shell that I do is like a work of art. I look at it that way. I have to look, see what I'm cutting, plan through it. And if you tumble them, you lose that. You know, if I wanted to mass produce these, yeah, I'd tumble them and just have shells. Shell necklaces. Still gnarly right there. Okay, I'm afraid I am going to have to throw this on a stick. So I'm not going to bother showing you that. You've seen that before. So I will be right back after I stop this. Don't run off. Okay, I'm back and we are docked. And I wanted to show you. You can see there's spots that still have the pitting in there. And that's what I have to get out to make these things really shine. Now, of course, there's facets on there too. But the pitting is the really important thing to get rid of, along with the facets. Okay, now I'm going to have to be gentle with this because the wax does not hold very well on these shells. Because the back of the shell is very smooth, and well, the wax don't hold very well on a shell. It does not hold very well when it's smooth. And as you can see right there, why I like to take the extra care and put them on a stick, because I can really work over the face of that shell and sew nicely. Okay, you can. Okay, see, we got some faceting going on here. But we've got most of the pits removed. And I almost like doing shells better by hand, because I eliminate the faceting completely when I'm doing them by hand on those soft padded pieces of carbide sandpaper. I honestly think I get a better job. I have to use a really light touch. And pretty sure I got everything down here that I needed. I see the shell got lighter. So I'm working, there's a little spot I need to get. I'm working some of that darkness off the top. And you get into parts of the shell that's not colored black. Yeah, I think we'd go to the next wheel, which is good. Okay, so the next wheel is here. Oh, I guess turn that off. Okay, let's get the water going. Do we got water? Yes, we got water. And now we got spinning wheel. If you notice, I usually by this time do an advertisement for Mrs. Cluck's Chicken Ducks. Well, they didn't pay me last time, so I'm not doing it for them this time. Actually, they never pay me because Mrs. Cluck's, I don't know. I do it for the chicken. You know, so that's how that goes. Okay, see, we're getting the facets out of there now. I have to go over this edge a little bit. I don't want to go over the edge that I did not cut, because I want to leave that natural. The ocean does a better job of polishing these than I probably ever could. If the sand was finer on the beach, these shells would probably be as shiny as glass. I really love the polished shells. When I'm doing this, I do have to do a light touch, especially with the wax. I can be more aggressive when they're glued on. Okay, this one's starting to shine up nicely. Yeah, this one's... I think it's going to be a beautiful black shell. Like I was saying, I have, I think, 5 buckets full of... I have 3.5 buckets full of shells from the last trip. And probably at least 3 more otherwise. Oh yeah, that's coming along really nice. Work on this slight edge here a little bit. You have a little bit of an edge sometimes where the shell transitions from where I cut it to where the ocean did. Okay, get that gnarly off there, Pogas. Yeah, that's coming along nice. And like I said, I still like doing them by hand. When I do another batch of shells up, I'll probably shape them with the first wheel and then do the rest of them by hand. That way I get rid of all the faceting and it's like a glass finish. And I think we can go to the next wheel. So, down here to the next wheel. Okay, get a little bit of water going. Yeah, that's it. Adjust this a little bit. Ha ha ha. This one shouldn't take as long. I still got to be gentle because I can pop them right off of there. Especially when you get this long edge out over here, you get that leverage going and you can really torque that shell right off. And it's terrible. Terrible, I say. Dry that off really well. That's coming along pretty nicely. You notice when I take the light across there, up here it's really smooth, down here it's not so much. Over here it's smoother, down there it's smoother, but right in the center it's not so much. I probably got some fastening going on there. And to be honest, I can get that out better by hand. Probably not really any different doing them this way. It's just a little bit different technique. And I've done hundredths by hand and only probably not quite hundredths. Maybe 100 with the wheel. So my technique is not as good with the shells on here as it is with the wheel. Anyway, let me see if that helps. That does somewhat. Let's see how this edge feels. Ooh, this edge that we cut, it feels pretty good. I might take this the whole way around that edge a little bit just to make sure, even though like I said, I like to keep the ocean's edge on that. Okay. Get the wipey wag of actual dry wipiness. You can see that's coming. Whew, that's shining up nice. I love these darker shells. Yep, I believe we can shut the water off, kill that, and we can head over to the cerium oxide. So when I see you next, we shall be super polished and at the table. Okay, don't run away. All right, I'm done on the cerium oxide wheel. And let me get this out of there because it messes up the color. And this is what we have. So let me zoom here. You can see that is, well, the faceting's pretty much out of it. And there's your super duper glass-like shine. That's what I like to see. Where's the focus? Why is this being annoyingly annoying? The annoying unfocus of unfocusy annoyingness. Yeah, let me do another zoom. Yeah, let me get this off of here. This should be easy to get off. See? Why? Stupid stuff never wants to come off when I want it to, and always comes off bad when I don't. Blah, 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 blah. Hate having to do this to it. Urgh. Okay, that's off of there. Pick up this wax and put it in the wax pot of wax pot holiness. Now we get the, oh, look at all this crap. Okay, that's repolished to polished up rock. There, got that off. That's easy to get off, or any residual stuff, because it will come right off with some alcohol lacquer thinner or something like that. There we go. This is what, and these are the ones I love. I really like these dark or black colored shells. There's so much subtle color in there. You have these, this one has those gray white streaks flowing through, and there's what's left of that really deep white spot. But the black ones always seem to polish up so shiny. I mean, there's what they look like beforehand. You know, and they're just gorgeous. So we can definitely say that this here shell is a win. So, if you like the video, you know, hit the button up there, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so that you'll know when I'm doing this stuff. It's nice just to get a little, hey, that ding-dong with the chickens out there cutting stones again, or shells, or God knows what he's going to do next. So, hey, thanks for spending some time with me, and have a good evening.